Hi, I'm Dr. Rudy Cashman. We're going to have a very interesting show today, and I have with me a pastor from the Lifestyle Church, Karen, and introduce yourself here a little bit. And how many years have you been a pastor of the church?
Actually, I've been doing the work of a pastor for some time, since my father was a pastor and founded the church. But I've actually officially become the shepherd, about a year now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pastor K, and she's call me Dr. K.
Yeah.
We've going to have working on a mission together on making the community healthier. We plan to do this throughout the community, and we're going to follow the Daniel plan. You know, the Reverend Rick Warren formulated this. There was a book written by Dr. Amen and Dr. Mark Hyman about it, and we're going to follow that. And as you know, I've written books and given a lot of lectures on proper eating. But what we like about what the pastor and I really like is that they focus on faith, food, fitness, focus, and friends. I think it's a good combination. You know, it's difficult, Pastor, to change the way you eat, isn't it? Really, psychologically.
It is difficult.
And
the one thing I love about this book is that it's the component of faith in it. Of course, with Pastor Rick, it just helps us to know how to get the strength to be able to follow the plan. You just need some extraordinary strength that comes from God.
Yeah, in the last show that we had, we spoke a great deal of faith, but we're going to continue it really throughout the community. Mm-hmm. We hope to reach all the churches and people that we possibly can, and have maybe a phone bank type connection eventually.
We're working on that now.
We're working on that now, where people can dial in at a certain hour and join us in this conversation between God and our health, and we want to. You know, God gave us this healthy body, and someday He's going to really ask for some accountability here, and we want to, be able to tell Him what we did and how, that we tried, So in essence, faith is the foundation of the Daniel plan, isn't it, Pastor?
Yes, and that's what I love about this plan. It's just the first one I've seen that's like that, and it's a really strong component, and you can't do these things on your own. You got to call on some supernatural strength from somewhere.
Yeah,
it's hard. I love to eat, so
we all do.
I know.
I mean, food's addictive. Sugar's addictive.
Oh my goodness!
We have a huge number of people, I think, including myself. I wouldn't say I'm totally over facing a donut and resisting it. You know what I mean? I normally would never order one, but if it was ever come home, was laying there in the queue, I'm not so sure. So even people who are in great health, and I weigh 130 pounds, but still, I need some faith and belief to resist some of these things, and so we spoke about faith in the last show, and this time we're going to go number 2. Remember, it's the 5 F's, and faith. This time we start speaking about food. What type of food are we speaking about here? And we're really are not talking about a diet, just a way of eating.
A lifestyle.
A lifestyle.
A lifestyle.
Yeah.
That helps keep you vibrant, and it's a lifestyle really that was intended for us to eat good food and put good food in our bodies.
Exactly, it's right in the Bible. It's in Genesis that God created us for the trees and the fruits and the plants and the berries. It's right in the Bible in Genesis.
Sure is. It is. Genesis 1:29. I looked it up.
Would you read it to us?
Yes, I will. Let me put my glasses on.
That's just great, Pastor K.
I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seeds in it. They will be yours for food. Wow, there's God telling us what we should be eating. You know what I mean?
I just love it.
Yeah, I do too. He says, I'm giving you seeds, everything that seed-bearing fruit in plants on the earth, and that's what you should eat. So He's already kind of given us what we should eat. But it's funny because even the children of Israel, He gave them plants to eat, and He says, "Hey, we want some meat." You know what I mean? So He didn't say meat in the very beginning here.
Yeah. So I'll give a little summary today. We're probably going to have 3-4 shows on this till we get through that section of the book. Incidentally, if you can, you buy this book, the Daniel Plan. Buy it. Christian bookstore. I'm sure you can get it at Barnes & Noble. I'm sure you can get it online. And sort of, this is maybe your second Bible. Maybe your second Bible make you well. And part of the passion, as a physician, 44 years, I did neurosurgery, but I saw so many people with overweight and obesity and type 2 diabetes that it's a plague. It's an epidemic through the world, not just here. And this is a no judgment zone, just like Planet Fitness. No judgment here. We just want to get people physically, mentally well.
Oh.
That's all we have in mind here.
I hope you don't mind. I want to thank you for your commitment
Yeah.
to wellness and helping to make people well and getting them to understand that lots of the way what we feel has to do with what we're eating.
Yeah, and how we feel and how well we are. Yeah, what people don't realize, even type 2 diabetes, vascular disease, strokes, heart attack, they're stoppable, preventable, and reversible.
Oh my.
Yes. Someone asked me a question yesterday. This today actually is my 4th lecture this week on proper eating.
Yeah, you've been
It's
working
been
hard.
a great week for me.
Boy, I mean, you've got that passion going. I love that about.
Yeah, and a
what you're
tech, one of
doing.
the students asked, because I want to dramatize it, I asked him, at what age does heart disease begin? And the student thought about it a minute, and he's a college student. He says, age 35. You see, we have a problem here. That's not due to his lack of knowledge. I just want the audience to know heart disease begins around age 2.
2?
2, yeah. They've
What?
autopsied at Bogalusa County in New Orleans. They autopsied every child that died of anything, trauma, anything. Okay.
Yes.
And it's written in a book by Charles Atwood, and he found streaks in kids at age 2.
Wow.
So, when people grab their chest at 35 and 45, their disease didn't begin last year. It began as a child. So this is really important. But what's on the typical? Let's take a Daniel plate. They have a plate. What will be on it? And it's in this book, and I happen to agree with it. I mean, that's part of the reason I'm doing this, because Dr. Hyman, Dr. Ammon, who wrote this book with the pastor, that's what I've been teaching. I don't argue with a thing in here. And if you take a plate, they want half of it to be non-starchy vegetables. In other words, vegetables that don't have a tremendous amount of carbohydrate in them, say like a potato. So half the plate is non-starchy vegetables, all you can eat.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
No restriction. 2 or 3 plates of salad, no problem, because the vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals, the enzymes in there, will turn your appetite off. You'll just stop eating after a while. And so salad should be a main dish of most meals. And then another quarter of the plate, he has on starchy vegetables, okay? So it could be a sweet potato, a baked potato. If you're diabetic, then you got to watch that. But some root vegetables to get some carbohydrates in them that still have all the coverings on them. And to try to eat food, of color, except you can add mushrooms and onions, which have no color but are full of phytochemicals. Remember, 25,000 phytochemicals. They have no enzymes, but they run the chemistry of your body. So it's the symphony, it's the mosaic of interaction that leads to good health.
Oh.
That leads to good health. And that's the reason we favor, colorful foods.
Yes.
So you need to, and we'll tell you more detailed examples in a minute. I'll tell you examples of it,
I like to hear.
which you would like to hear. And then you want, and he'll mention their whole grains. But I say be careful with that, because our grains, like the wheat we eat, for example, it's had genetic changes to it. They changed it. It has many more. It's been hybridized. It's been genetically changed, and our bodies are revolting to the gluten in the wheat in them, and it's metabolized differently in the blood system. For example, if you're 30, 50 pounds overweight, if you were to cut out wheat, all wheat products, 6 months, you probably lose 50 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a book out called Wheat Belly. It's right in there. I reviewed it on the previous show, and my other public access show, which will be on TV Wednesday, 9 o'clock next week. And I know you've been watching that because you sent me a text.
Yes, I did.
And then we had a show last night.
What I told you, what I was so surprised about, that 2 pieces of wheat bread is equal to 1 soda.
Yeah, exactly right.
I don't think I'll ever forget that.
Yeah.
I haven't had a soda since I saw that on the
right.
show.
I mean, while you brought that subject up, sugary drinks, goodbye, because they're full of fructose corn syrup. and metabolized differently. See, if you take sucrose, table sugar, that's 50% glucose. This is important, what I'm going to say here. And 50% fructose. Yeah, the fruit sugar. Yeah. But glucose goes in the blood, 20% in the brain, 20% in the liver, 80% in your muscles. Okay? So far, so good. But fructose, the other 50%, goes to the bloodstream, doesn't increase the blood sugar, doesn't increase the insulin level, goes to the liver, eats up your ATP, your energy, is converted to fat.
Wow.
It makes very low density LDL, that thing that burrows in your arteries, causes strokes and heart disease. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Fructose is your, and chemically they're the same. C6H12O6, they're the same, but the fructose is evil. It's evil. That's what makes people fat. People think fat makes them fat. Fat doesn't generally make them fat, unless they're overweight to begin with and eat an awful lot, 9 calories in fat. Fat is not the enemy we thought it was. We thought years ago it was. 30 years we thought fat's the enemy.
Exactly.
It's fructose and sugar that are the enemy.
And it's in everything.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, my.
60,000 food products, 80% get some sugar in it, some fructose in it. So you really have to pay attention to that sugar is unfriendly, but fructose is evil. It's evil because it goes in the liver and makes you fat.
So sugar and fructose, they're not the same, or they are
They're not the same. The chemical structures, C6H12O6, is the same, but the body recognizes them differently.
Oh,
one's a hexagon, one's a pentagon, metabolized differently.
Metabolizes it different.
Yeah.
My.
The liver looks at it differently.
That's huge.
So it's huge.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I have a book coming out. You won't believe, Pastor, the name of Fructose, the Evil Twin.
Oh, wow.
It is an evil twin because they are twins, okay?
Because they look
a
lot.
But fructose, the evil one. So I like people to look at what are wheat products. That's one important dietary thing. The other thing is they need to learn the sugar content and the fructose content of the foods.
So the sugar content and the fructose content.
Okay. And my book will have 20 pages telling you the fructose contents. Just a little bit in vegetables. Doesn't mean nothing. But a carrot cake is 50 grams of fructose.
Huh. So how much? What should be our limit on
about 35 grams of fructose and sugar. Avoid all that you can. Okay. Avoid all you can. Pay attention to it. You know what I mean?
Be sugar conscious.
Be sugar conscious.
I know.
Be sugar conscious.
I say that because I've learned that, and because I was actually addicted to sugar.
Oh,
and I learned that.
A lot of people are.
Sugar was my drug of choice. I put sugar in everything.
Sugar is addictive as cocaine.
I believe it. It took me 3 weeks to get myself weaned off of it. 3 whole weeks.
But then again, that's not months or years.
No, right, thank God. But then I lost weight,
I
too.
tell you something, Reverend Pastor probably don't want me to say, but she said since she started this program with me that she needed it, but she's lost 6 pounds.
I sure have.
And
I haven't
By the time you and I get done, I think it's, you know what I mean?
It could be more, much more.
Could I say movie star quality here? We're already there, but it's really going to be something. Yeah, I have personally seen tremendous changes in especially women. I mean, they look like movie stars after they get done. When before, you wouldn't have a second look. Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, I'm telling you, it's been now, I'm on my 4th week, and I have not exercised. I haven't been on an exercise program the last 4 weeks. I have only been eating what I should be eating, good foods. I've eliminated sugar. I've eliminated bread. And just those 2 things alone, I have lost 6 pounds.
Yeah.
Actually, and I haven't done any exercise.
If you're way overweight, you just cut out wheat products, bread products, muffins and waffles and things.
I haven't eaten any of that.
6 months, you probably lose 30, 50 pounds.
My goodness.
You add sugar on top of that, you have a perfect figure. And forget about the fat.
Well, I couldn't get in this. I couldn't get in this jacket.
But to take some omega-6.
Last month, I couldn't even get in this jacket.
But to take some omega-6 as a supplement is good because we need essential fatty acids. They're good fats. So to eat some nuts, some omega-6s as a supplement, or some non-farm-raised fish, very healthy. You don't want it off a farm because they feed it with corn products and wheat products which have been genetically altered. So you get in a restaurant, always ask, is this from a farm? It's just from the ocean.
Ocean, okay.
You always have to ask that. And you need some protein, some lean proteins. But plant protein is as good as animal protein, which people do not realize.
What is plant
and,
protein?
And plant would be in broccoli.
Oh, broccoli. Oh, I love
if you eat
broccoli.
100 calories of broccoli versus 100 calorie beef, there's twice as much protein in broccoli.
No one has
Yes.
ever told us
It's
that.
in a book, Dr. Furman's book.
What?
Yes, people don't know that. And I gave a lecture at IU Purdue recently on the difference between plant and animal protein. People were total shock. They don't know that.
No
They'll say,
way.
I got to have my animal protein. So when I give the last lecture, I put a picture up there of a silverback gorilla. And he's eating white cabbage in the left hand and red cabbage in the right hand. And look at the size of that guy. Horses, hippopotamus, giraffes, they're all vegetarians. See, people don't realize that. They think they have to eat meat products.
But this is what we've been educated to think.
It's the farm industry and the government.
Man, this is what we've been educated to think.
I know it. That's the most fundamental thing.
That's
Children
amazing.
should be taught is the difference.
So really, when he says fruit-bearing plants and fruits from the trees with the seed, and that's what I give you to eat. That's really what we should be eating.
That's really what we should be eating.
Everything's in
That
those
should be
things.
80%. Yeah, 80% plant diet maybe, and learn some good recipes in a lot of these books. And we'll discuss recipes in the end of here too. And maybe people can email us for them or something. We'll get them to them because sometimes you need recipes. But there's so many books available at a bookstore. It's online. It's beyond comprehension. So learn what lean proteins are. And then we need to drink something. Sugary drinks are 50% of obesity, okay? Non-sugary drinks, now whether you use aspartame and different things, just as bad. Wow, Doc, how could that be? Well, because you drink it, and the thing is, a non-sugary thing is aspartame in it.
My water.
Good to drink water, 8 glasses a day. And you're reminding me of that, Pastor, something I don't have totally conquered, and how critical that is.
I drink lots of water.
Is that the anticipation of the non-sugary drink? Your brain thinks it's sugar, and
What?
and increases your appetite. You want a pot belly? Drink non-sugary drinks. It deposits the fat right here.
So you're saying
Yeah.
that when you get ready to
Yeah.
that the brain treats a diet soda in the
Yes.
same way as it treats the real soda?
Exactly. The brain reacts to it like that, increases your appetite, and you eat more sugary and more fatty foods.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
the Monell Company in Philadelphia has studied the bliss point of sugar. We will drink or eat anything up to 26% sugar in it. Children, 36% because their brain is not developed. So these food companies know that, so they make our food that way. They might put some spinach in the middle, but well, you see what's around it. Chicken McNuggets has 39 ingredients in it. Yes, 39 ingredients. They have to add a spray to make it taste like chicken. I happened to be at a fast food restaurant recently, and there was a grandma there, and she was proud that and I heard her say it behind me. I didn't say nothing, but boy, it took a lot. That she had taken the grandkids in there for 3 months now, and every day they were eating chicken McNuggets for lunch. I like to see that blood work. I like to see the blood work. But let's move on. Let's list some good foods here.
Wow.
And so now we're talking about non-starchy vegetables. That's half the plate, okay? That's
Non-starchy vegetables,
yeah,
broccoli, and that kind of thing.
asparagus, bell peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, collard greens, cucumbers, green beans, kale. Kale is 1,000% of nutrient density. If you go to Whole Foods somewhere, they'll have the Andy scores of Dr. Furman, my friend, and he gives it 1,000 points.
Kale.
You can even make kale chips, incidentally. You cut them little chips, put a little tiny bit of olive oil on them, the omega-3 olive oil, a great snack. Delicious.
I like kale. It's got a good taste.
Learn to make kale
It's got
chips.
good flavor.
Don't buy them. Make them yourself.
Oh.
Make them yourself. But these are non-starchy veggies. All you can eat. Doesn't raise your blood sugar very much. It's full of fiber. Fiber is your friend. Why is fiber? That's complex sugars, and they will keep you from absorbing all the food that you're eating. So it isn't calories in, calories out. Because if you eat a lot of non-starchy veggies, because of fiber, you'll not absorb everything. It'll go out in the stool. So you can eat a lot more calories. And you won't gain weight. Isn't that interesting? Now, good proteins would be beans. Beans have 30% protein in them.
I love beans.
Yeah, people don't realize that. If you're a busy person, cook them on Sunday night for the next 3 days or so. and some bean dishes. That's easy. He's got on the list beef. I'm not too hot on beef. If you're going to eat some beef, then at least make it sure it's organic beef, not raised in a CAFO, concentrated animal feeding organization, where they feed the animals corn and pesticides and herbicides.
I've seen that. I've seen it.
You've seen it. You've seen a
I've
CAFO.
seen it.
I myself
It's
could not
scary.
eat a steak again because I saw it. It's beyond. They have them in a cage for the last 150 days, and they feed them corn products and wheat products and chemically changed corn and pesticides and herbicides and chemicals.
I saw the
and
bucket.
then
I saw the bucket. I asked him, I said, what's
Yeah.
in that bucket that they're eating?
Yeah.
He says, that's hormones.
yeah.
It was like little pellets, like little rat pellets. And it freaked me out. I said, well,
Where did you see that?
out on a farm, this was maybe about 3 years ago, in outside of, just before Woodburn, Ohio.
Yeah. Don't forget what Pastor Kay said. Don't forget that. That's critical.
It freaked me
I
out.
mean, yeah. This is what you're eating. You have a steak generally today. That's
You're a
what
little
you're
pellet.
getting.
It like what you put down the feet of rat.
Oh,
That's what it looked like. I thought, oh my God, it was like
and if
green.
you knew where the pellets came from, you'd be running from. Do the same to chickens and
Oh
turkeys,
my
and
God!
it's the same
I
darn
thought, are you
thing.
kidding me?
He puts eggs on here. Eggs, they badmouthed him quite a bit in the last few years, but I tell you honestly, we need some cholesterol. Your brain is 20% cholesterol. Every cell in your body has some cholesterol in the membrane because that's where your essential fatty acids, your eicosanoids, jump from cell to cell. Your cells, your 70 trillion cells, are full of cholesterol and essential fatty acids. So,
Doctor, I'm learning that we have to buy cage-free eggs if we can get them now too.
Yeah, cage-free eggs.
If
This
we
is
can
great
get them.
because
Yes.
they'll take a chicken, put it in a cage, that never stands up, and they feed it corn products and
I read this last
and it's
week.
cruelty, and you're supposed to eat the darn thing. Cage-free and maybe
If you
omega-3
can.
addition
Yeah.
eggs.
I had read
Yeah.
this week that they're putting yellow dye. They're feeding the chickens
Yeah.
yellow dye so that the yolk will be more yellow.
Yeah.
And that's not.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be toxic as
Yeah,
well.
remember that. Anything with a dye, you don't buy it. You don't buy it. And but to eat a few eggs a week, proper eggs that we talked about, cage-free, omega-3 in them, half a dozen, I don't think it's going to hurt you. Egg whites, I ate a lot of egg whites, egg white omelets. I had one for breakfast. I never gained weight off of that because the protein in that is good for you. But there's cholesterol in the yolk. But then again, what did I say? You need some cholesterol. So I think eggs have a little place. Not huge.
Yeah.
But egg whites.
Yeah, I heard you talk
very
about.
healthy.
I heard you talk on another show about how our brain has cholesterol in it.
Exactly, because it's in the cell membrane and it helps nerve conduction. They've done some studies actually that half the people who have a heart attack have a normal cholesterol. Yeah. People with dementia, some of them don't have enough cholesterol, but what they have too much of is the very low density LDL we talked about, caused by fructose. Okay, and to find out how many of those little particles you got in your blood, you need to call it NMR test. NMR. Most doctors won't order it. It's not part of routine tests. That's the test that determines how many very low density LDLs you have. That'll determine whether you get a stroke or heart attack or dementia. That's the test. NMR. We keep on demanding it, then I think it'd be for routine testing.
NMR, okay.
And fish, not fish out of a pond, fish out of the ocean, okay?
Yes.
And always ask the waiter, is this from the ocean? And seeds are very healthy. Some turkey and some chicken without the skin on. I think it's healthy stuff. And so that's protein. We need some protein. Remember, I said nuts. And now we talk about starchy vegetables, the other quarter of the plate. Beets, rice, carrots, buckwheat, green peas, corn, quinoa. That's the Indians. The Inca Indians would walk around with quinoa pellets. Go to war, and these pellets were the food. Yeah, it's interesting. Sweet potatoes, turnips, winter squash. Squash is great. I mean, Dr. Rulo, my friend, after tennis, we went over his house, and he had taken a squash like that, cut up in little pieces, and put a little bit of olive oil on it, put it in the oven, 325 degrees, 15 minutes. I couldn't stop eating it.
It's great.
I never got to anything else.
Yes.
And
you can just about eat all you want of it. You can eat
almost all you want.
Yeah,
very
it's
healthy. So there's great snacks.
Yeah.
Great
Makes
snacks
wonderful
for you.
Snacks. I've been doing some cauliflower like that. I'll share with you. And putting it in the oven and baking it.
You're going to teach me how to do that
stop
cauliflower.
Eating it.
Is that right? I love cauliflower. So these are great Great things. So you know, carbs in general are good, but they got to be complex. They can't be wheat. I mean, wheat. You know, the sugar products, the endosperm of the wheat is a carbohydrate. So you got to watch it. They're not quite, you know, say good carbs. Not all carbs are great because it's sugar. It's sugar. And sugar is not exactly your friend, so it has to be a complex carb, and you got to be reasonable about it. You can't eat 10 baked potatoes. But if you're not diabetic and you want to eat a baked potato without the butter and without the cream, I put a tablespoonful of olive oil on it because it has a good omega-3 fats in it. All oils, 100% fat. You want to get fat, eat a lot of oils, but a limited amount is okay. You know, on a frying pan, for example. And I put on a baked potato. I never seem to get weight off of that. But again, and I eat the baked potato with the covering, the fiber. So it's not all absorbed.
Okay.
So it's not all absorbed. But if you're overweight, I think I'd kind of wait on potatoes. So eat sweet potatoes.
Well, what would be a good carb?
What would be a
good carb?
A good carbohydrate? I think probably a sweet potato, a carrot.
Carrot.
You know,
that's carrots.
A beet, a carrot, beets would be a good example.
Beets. Yeah, beets.
You know, I love beets. Matter of fact, all vegetables are carbohydrates. Oh yeah, except that they don't have roots; they have less in them.
Oh.
Interesting enough, you know, all plants in the universe have in them some fat. Yeah, alpha-linolenic acid. It's the fat in the leaves that involves with photosynthesis that picks up the energy of the universe. Yeah.
Wow.
Then the chloroplast, where we get the energy from the universe. Every plant has alpha-linolenic acid in it, but not much of it. So you pick up, and that's the good fat, the omega-3.
Wow.
So if you're eating plants, you get some omega-3. Not many people know that.
You do get some.
Not people
I
know
didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah, I know that. So this
all plants have some fat in them.
Tiny,
and they were designed by God to have fat.
Fat in them, and they're good, and they're good
Wow.
for, and they are good for you. So let's summarize this a little bit. In our next show, we'll go to this a little bit deeper, Reverend. I mean, what are we saying? To avoid eating bread products, if you know, if you can, because of gluten. And gluten diseases like caused by gluten, from seizures to dementia to bowel disease, and then to eat half the plate full of non-starchy vegetables, a quarter full of vegetables, you know, like that have a little more carbohydrates in them, root vegetables, for example. And the other quarter, learn what are good proteins, what are lean, organic, raised meat products. But pork and lamb are pretty fat, you know, about that, because fat has in it, because of these are raised on a farm, a lot of omega-6s, which are the inflammatory fats which inflame your whole body. When I look at a person who weighs 220 pounds or so, I think they're inflamed. I see fire in their body. So that's...
And that's what's causing the discomfort and disease.
So thank you for joining us, and I hope you join us in other shows, and eventually we're going to have a phone bank where we can all dial in. We'll have a number that I think will be on Monday nights, where we're as a team, and we're going to teach proper eating and wellness, you know, through faith and through focus and fitness and friends, the 5 Fs, and hook it to the church and belief, which I truly think spirituality is very important in making our life enjoyable. And then when we maybe someday have to face God, we can say, hey, we did the best we could with the body that you gave us. And I really love it, Pastor Kay, that you joined me in this project.
Thanks, Dr. Kay. Thank you.
We're going to have a good time doing this.
Thank you for your commitment to wellness for all of us.
And it's because we love you.
We love you too.
And we love you, Pastor.